men have a unique trajectory of finding themselves in a country that doesn't want them to be found, especially in young black males, where identity is always at the precipice of everything. You have social media trying to tell you who to be, rap music trying to tell you who to be, mom, dad, brother, sister. So it's like finding yourself in the midst of all that noise. Being able to get to a place of silence and stillness to truly connect with your highest self, your highest state of consciousness. And then once you have that awareness of who you are and how you show up, then you do the work. Then you do the digging out of, what can't I take into a relationship? What can't I take into a marriage? What do I need to work on within myself? And that takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of resilience. It takes a lot of resisting, social cues and, cultural innuendos and saying, I'm choosing to honor my sacred self and to learn about myself before I interact with another human being on the level of love and intimacy. Because how can you be intimate with someone if you haven't even looked into yourself? If someone said it, intimacy into me see. You have to see
Right.
within yourself first, yeah, learn what qualities that you have that are loving, what qualities that you have that could be harmful to another person. So I think that men just deserve the opportunity, as do women, to take the time to learn yourself first. Learn your likes and your dislikes, learn what you love, learn how you show up in love, and how do you show up for yourself in love. Because how you show up for yourself is going to be how you show up for that next person.
Yeah, because I was talking about this the other day on Fanbase, and the room was maybe ages 35 to 45 maybe. And a lot of them were saying that they don't know if they want to get married. And like because people have commitment issues and all these different things. And I was wondering, I told the room, is this what happens when we marry older? Because the more, by the time you 35, how many relationships have you had since 35? And
Exactly.
how much unpacking you will have to do. But say if you married at 22, and I'm not saying that everything, everybody has to get married in their 20s. I'm just saying if you marry younger, you, at least you won't have that much baggage. Chances are you might not have a child, and you actually get to grow with someone. But when you're 35, 40, you probably got a divorce under your belt, maybe two, you have some children, and it like there's so much that comes with marrying older. You could say you're wiser, and I get it, but there's other factors that come into play when you marry older too.
Level of baggage that can come into that, just in the sense of if you feel like you've experienced failure after failure, heartbreak after heartbreak, then that can shake a person's faith to the point of like, how do I believe that what I have with this person who's come into my life is true? How can I believe that I'm showing up whole in this new relationship and opportunity? But like you said, there's a yin and yang with everything, and people who marry younger, they could oftentimes end up in divorce just because they haven't truly learned themselves, and they wake up one day 5 years 10 years down the line a whole new version of themselves, and they're like, wow, this version of me is not compatible with this situation that I'm in. What do I do? And they end up causing harm and damage along the way. So I really think no matter what age, and honestly, if we want to get into it, I think that our community of people can do a better job of helping our young people identify who they are. Like parents, sit with your kids more often than not. Look at them, examine them, watch them, see what their capabilities are, what their talents are, if they have any narcissistic tendencies. Really study and pay attention to your children and help cultivate them into the person that you see that they can be. Speak life over your children. Help them to identify themselves. And I feel like oftentimes our kids in our community don't get that. So they're grasping at straws, trying to create some sort of personality out of what they're seeing out there in the world. A little bit of this rapper, a little bit of this, a little bit of this viral person, and they're creating an identity that's not true to themselves, which is, someday they're going to wake up and feel like they've betrayed themselves and wasted their time, and that they were betrayed by those who were sent here to instruct them and to lead them.